Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go straight to Avdiivka direction. Russia today tried to advance towards Stepova using their T-90 modern tanks. It is not the first time Russia uses those tanks to get to Stepova, and today they entered the village, but there was Bradley armored vehicle in Stepova, which entered into direct combat with T-90 tank. It's crazy, but Bradley was victorious. Let's watch the video. So here we go, the best Russian tank T-90 Prorif and the American infantry fighting vehicle Bradley. I cannot zoom in unfortunately, but I see that the barrel of the tank is pointing towards this place. The Bradley was absolutely determined to reach this place. You may see the trace from the caterpillars. Let's watch the video itself. So Bradley fired directly towards the tank several of the times. Several of the bullets hit the tank. Bradley has just a 25mm gun, but tank has 125mm cannon. Bradley fired multiple of the shots, and indeed some of them hit the tank, and tank also fired back but missed the Bradley. If the tank shell went into the infantry vehicle, obviously the vehicle would be kaputted. But our guys were fast and quite accurate, leaving the position after the single attack, and here is the Bradley smoke. And the Russian tank got damages. Tank's turret went into the uncontrolled spin, and finally it hit the tree. It is because of the Bradley attack. It is crazy. Probably it hit the vulnerable spot of the tank, or maybe FPV drones also helped, because after it, FPV targeted the tank, finishing it. We have the view from the FPV camera, but here tank already hit that tree, so probably Bradley indeed caused the damage. Tank was still moving, as you can see, but later on crew left the tank because tank was severely damaged. All of the 3 crew members of the tank survived this attack. And here's this particular T-90 Prorif tank, kaputted by Bradley, by the FPV. Great result by Ukrainian defenders, but hopefully Ukraine will get more weaponry, just not to use the infantry vehicles against the modern tanks, because honestly it was the lucky shot towards that tank. 25mm caliber usually does nothing against the tanks. Bradleys are often in use by Ukrainian army not just as the infantry vehicles but also as the combat vehicles, because they have pretty much nice armor and a good firepower against the infantry forces. Mostly Russia advances with infantry, but today it was exclusion, so they advanced with some of the T-90 tanks. Probably Bradley was caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, but the crew of our armored vehicle decided to fight against the tank, and finally it was a good decision. My friends, before we continue, let me tell you about the partner of my channel and also the sponsor of this video, Atlas VPN. They introduced a super deal that is only available for my followers. With it, you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $149 per month, plus you will have 12 months extra. I would recommend you just that service because I know what I'm talking about. So I tried many VPNs since that time, but for Atlas VPN, I trust the most. Also, Atlas VPN grants me the full access to any kind of series on the Netflix streaming platform. So I don't care about the government restrictions any longer. And sometimes I check the enemy site, social media, and for that I also use the Atlas VPN. You can basically change your virtual location to any point in the world. And Atlas VPN is so fast that you will never feel the difference whether it's on or off. And now my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, or scan the QR code available on the screen where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount. Now it is just $149 per month plus 12 months extra. The deal is valid just for my followers, so hurry up to join the club. Alright, and now let's go back to the Russian tanks. According to the statistics, which is confirmed by the drone videos, Russia lost 90% of all of their tanks which they used at the beginning of the war. 90%. So totally before the war, Russia got 2,187 tanks from which 2,116 tanks were totally kaputted by Ukraine. 205 abandoned, 544 were captured by Ukrainian army. The models are T-55, T-62, those are Jurassic old tanks, and the newer models like T-72, T-80 and T-90. About T-90, Russia lost at least 100 of those. But Russia continued to produce new tanks and to repair the old ones. So for all of this period, Russia was able to restore or produce 780 tanks. That is why totally they might have around 1,180 working tanks. But if they continue to follow their crazy midwave tactics, finally there will be out of the tanks for assault missions at least. Even though Russia continued their multiple attacks in many of the frontline direction, but they are unable to move the front lines, so for today the situation for the front lines is mostly standstill. But it doesn't mean that it is not active. Today Ukraine has demolished a very modern Russian radar complex RB-109A Belina. Belina was introduced to the Russian army not a long time ago, and it is the brand new radar system. So we have a drone flying by, and later on this system was targeted by some of the drones and it caught fire, completely being demolished. I wonder what is the price of this system, because before Ukraine demolished the similar looking one, and that one was really expensive, like $250 million. If the price is the same for this one, well, it is the huge success for Ukrainian army. It is success in any ways because Russians do not have many of those systems. Alright, I found one more part of the video of the fight between T-90 Prorif tank and Ukrainian Bradley. Let's watch it. It seems like tank was finally able to move from the place, but Bradley went back and started to fire towards the tank, and only after that huge fire the tank lost control over its turret. Definitely if you fire lots and lots of the shells, even though they are 25mm caliber, they will cause the damage. So that is what happened to the Russian tank. The turret mechanism was damaged. Absolutely huge fire happened today in St. Petersburg, Russia. It was a warehouse of the Russian company similar to Amazon, but much lower scale. It calls Wildberries. Some say that fire happened because of the conflict between few of the people in the place. One of the persons used some sort of the flammable stuff which caused this devastation fire. A smoke cloud is just crazy. It looks like volcano eruption or something like that. Yes, I understand that the build source is not trustworthy, but nevertheless they published the information today that Russia starts to cut the heating for their prisons. That is how they force their prisoners to go and fight in Ukraine, by basically torturing them. Yet I don't have the detailed information whether it's true or fake. Russia launched some of the missiles the last night and all of them were shot down by Ukrainian air defense. However, there was also a second wave of the Russian aerial attack. During that one, a Russian missile hit the infrastructure in Dnipro city. For the first time, Romanian farmers are blocking the border with Ukraine. This blockade lasted for several hours. Now the way is free. The Ukrainian side has no information about the demands of the protesters, but they already left the place. The Estonian intelligence warned Ukraine that Russia might use their rockets more aggressively to target Ukrainian infrastructure, because soon Ukraine is going to obtain F-16s, and probably civilian infrastructure like civilian airports will be used to accommodate those airplanes. So Russia will try to strike those facilities. This photo shows the damaged Leopard 2A6, which is serving for Ukrainian army. Definitely it was hit by the anti-tank system, the anti-tank missile. I wonder if there was the penetration of this armor. Hopefully not. Russia is pulling out from the storages everything they might pull. So here's the storage of the artillery systems, and not many left over there. The storage is located not far away from Kazakhstan, so all of that weaponry will be delivered to the front lines in Ukraine. Russians blown out one more MTLB armored vehicle full of mines, aviation bombs and other explosive stuff. That is how they demine the fields. Crazy tactics. Last night, the United States of America struck Houthis again. One of the US Navy ships launched the cruise missiles to target the radar facility. I believe that the strikes will continue because Houthis are not willing to cease attacking civilian ships in the Red Sea. The problem here is that they use a very cheap tools for their attacks, cheap drones, but allies have to use a very sophisticated weaponry to counteract to those attacks. There were presidential elections in Taiwan and the candidate from the Democratic Progressive Party won the elections. The guy's name is Lai Ching-te and he is pro-Western, pro-democratic, which is a good choice for Taiwan, I think. I believe that China wouldn't dare to attack Taiwan in a close perspective at least. It would be a suicide mission because this military operation could be the hardest ever performed in the human history. For now, China doesn't have enough resources for this huge operation. The leaders of the world will discuss the possible outbreak of unknown virus. They predict that even more deadlier virus might appear anytime soon, which has the potential to cut the vast part of our population. They call it a virus X. They will discuss it the next week in Davos. Well, a perfect ground for many of the conspiracy theories to arise. My friends, don't forget to press a huge like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. And also you may check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount especially made for my followers. Hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.